I thought I'd sort of put things into perspective a little bit with respect to why Reyou operates the way that it does as a community and not just a business, not just an enterprise, and not just an entity that sells a workshop and then say, here, you've done a workshop, go on, live your life. No, we're about building meaningful connections, and we are about learning and practice. And you know, one of the things that I've identified as an individual that is trying to live a more mindful life, trying to live a more intentional life, is that there's lots of opportunity for learning stuff. There are very few opportunities for really being able to practice and integrate in a way that allows for those habits to really stick. And so this is one of the reasons why I created this community. This is one of the reasons why we're here. And so I'm super excited that one of the things that we can start offering as of this fall is free membership to our online community, which means that individuals can join Reyou at no cost, and they can benefit from some of the learning and practice modalities. They can attend some of our events, and they can engage with some of the resources that we actually use and share within the community. Now, not everything is free. There are some individuals have a choice as to whether or not they would like to upgrade to a paid membership, or they would like to stay on our free community plan. But that's not why I'm here. Why I'm here is to talk about why having a community framework is really so important to how we think about learning and practice, and how that influences our habits. Now, one of the interesting things is that just a while ago we had a mindful lunch learning session. So we talk about our mindful lunch sessions. These are free community events that really give people the opportunity to engage in a little bit of bite-sized learning and practice that helps support their well-being and resilience. And just a few weeks ago, we had one person on as our guest speaker. Her name is Sharon Inkster. And Sharon is the owner and operator of a company called Practical Safety Health and Environmental Solution. And Sharon is a heart math trainer. So she trains people in this technique called heart math. And what heart math is this facilitation of, the awareness of the anatomical connection between the heart and the brain, and how that awareness can actually lead to practices and activities that help us manage chronic stress and improve our sense of physical and anatomical coherence, mental coherence and clarity, as well as improve our relationships with other people. So I was doing some note taking because I'm incorporating all of this into the way that we talk about community building processes for the purpose of this workshop. And a couple of things that came up that I thought, it's really cool to share this. And there's, it helps to share. It sticks and it feels good. You can ask for more information. And if it doesn't, then just, scroll past it, So one of the things that I've been thinking about when you think about community building and how having a community can help sustain or help people better sustain their mental wellness and well-being is we have to think about this from the point of social coherence. So this is about the heart math technique that Sharon, our guest presenter, had loaned to me. And there was something that is highlighted in here about social coherence that I thought was really very interesting. There's a lot of academic speak here. I'm just going to pull out like some of the really simplified elements here to talk about it. But according to heart math, and this is from the heart math literature, they're saying that social coherence is reflected in a stable, harmonious alignment of relationships that allow for the efficient flow and utilization of energy and communication required for optimal cohesiveness and action. Right? Goes on to say that coherence requires that group members be attuned and emotionally aligned, and that the group's energy is globally organized and regulated by the group as a whole. And then the last little bit that I want to talk about here is that they say that when there is coherence, right? When there is that coherence that's happening within a team or a group or a community, there is freedom for the individual members of that community or team or group to do their part and thrive while maintaining cohesion and resonance with the group's intent and goals, right? So listen to that again. So there is freedom for the individual members to do their part and thrive while maintaining cohesion and resonance with the group's intent. So I read that along with all the other, stuff, the fancy academic and graph stuff. And, for me, that's like a huge exclamation mark around the way that the Reyou community operates and the reason why we take a community development approach to the work that we do when it comes to talking about mental well-being and resilience. Because the central theme is that in order to be able to cultivate meaningful and intentional habits that support us in our wellness and well-being, in order to be able to do that, we don't need more self-improvement, right? We don't need more books or practices or learning and stuff like that. We actually need action. We need action, and we need conversations, and we need repetition, and we need practice, right? Now, when we engage with that element of practice, we're actually creating habits, and habit formation is a key element of mental well-being and resilience. Now, it's really interesting because the groups that you are a part of have a lot to do with the kind of wellness, well-being, and resilience practices that you default to, right? When I say default to, like, what happens when you hit a wall? What happens when you have a crisis? What happens when you meet a challenge? What you default to is your system. It's your habit, right? And so we really do need to pay attention to how our sense of coherence really influences that. And without going into all of that a little bit too much, like, this is for the purpose of the workshop, but I just wanted to highlight that when we can ask ourselves questions like, what group am I a part of, right? And how can I find myself among a group of people that reflect my desired behavior? Like, what do they reflect the thing that I aspire to be, and yet the thing that I aspire to do. Like, I want to be around people that are doing the things that I would like to see in myself, right? And we have to ask ourselves those hard questions, because that is essentially us asking, where is my community, right? And when you can answer that question, where is my community, and you can sit with that community and you can feel that sense of coherence, what we get is the sense that we really do have to find our community, right? And when we find our community, like, we can have and belong to lots of different communities, and that those communities are about that sense of support and belonging, but they're also about reflecting the things that we want to see in the world. So I'll leave you with that. That's the part that we need to think about. Does your community reflect the things that you want to see in the world? Strengthening resilience and enhancing mental well-being. Oh, you're still here? No, seriously, I gotta get back to work. Okay. This material is not gonna write itself. Okay,